Something is missing from the grasslands of western Kansas. The ground is flat and hard. The short grasses grow in uniform sheets with no mounds of excavated earth. No burrowing owls calling. No swift foxes hunting at dawn. The burrows that once covered this prairie by the thousand have been deliberately filled with poison. And the silence that remains is not peaceful. It is the silence of a system that has been taken apart. What looks like pest control is actually the systematic dismantling of the most ecologically connected habitat in North America. Prairie dogs are not pests, they are the mechanism that holds the Great Plains together. The American Great Plains once supported the largest complex of burrowing mammals on Earth. Black-tailed prairie dog colonies stretched across roughly 100 million acres, from southern Canada down through Texas. A single colony discovered in Texas in 1900 covered 25,000 square miles and held an estimated 400 million animals. But ranchers believed prairie dogs stole grass from cattle. Government agencies agreed. Starting in the early 1900s, the United States Department of Agriculture launched a coordinated poisoning campaign. Strychnine-laced grain was scattered across millions of acres. Then came Compound 1080, a poison so toxic that a single teaspoon could kill 100 people. Some states organized shooting competitions for prizes. The federal program alone cost $3.7 billion. By the time anyone measured the damage, 98% of the historic range was gone. From 100 million acres, fewer than 2 million remained. This is not pest control. It is ecosystem demolition with a government budget. The ecological cascade that followed was neither subtle nor slow. The black-footed ferret feeds almost exclusively on prairie dogs and raises its young inside their burrows. When the colonies were poisoned, the ferrets vanished. By 1987, only 18 existed on Earth. Every black-footed ferret alive today descends from those 18 animals. Without prairie dog towns, the species has no future. Conservation efforts have been measured and deliberate. The Fish and Wildlife Service has reintroduced captive-bred ferrets into active colonies in South Dakota, Montana, and Colorado. Lakota tribal nations on the Rosebud and Pine Ridge reservations have maintained large colonies on their lands, providing critical habitat for ferret recovery. But here is what makes this different from any other keystone species. The mechanism by which prairie dogs support their ecosystem operates on 4 levels, and each one compounds the others. Burrow engineering is the most structurally important. Prairie dogs excavate tunnel systems extending 3 to 5 meters underground. More than 170 species use these structures. Burrowing owls nest in abandoned tunnels. Rattlesnakes hibernate in deeper chambers. Swift foxes use entrance mounds as hunting platforms. The structural complexity of a prairie dog colony is among the most ecologically valuable habitat a grassland can contain. Before we get into what the data showed, if you are enjoying this so far, please consider liking and subscribing. It genuinely helps us make more of these, and it only takes a second. Now, back to the story. Vegetation management is the most visible behavior. Prairie dogs clip tall grasses around burrow entrances to maintain sightlines against predators. This creates habitat mosaics of short and tall grass that support far more species than uniform prairie. They are disturbance engineers operating at a scale no grazing plan can replicate. The prairie dogs are also doing water management that nobody asked them to do. Their burrow systems increase rainfall infiltration by more than 50% compared to uncolonized grassland. The burrows act as passive irrigation, channeling water deep into the soil where roots can reach it during drought. Finally, nutrient cycling. Prairie dog dung and urine concentrate nitrogen around colony sites, creating measurable islands of fertility. Soil nitrogen levels inside active colonies run 20 to 30% higher than the surrounding grassland, attracting grazers like bison and pronghorn. Grasslands without prairie dogs lose more than 50% of their vertebrate diversity. Bird species richness drops by 1/3. At restored sites, diversity recovers within 3 to 5 years. Black-footed ferret numbers have grown from the original 18 to roughly 300 in the wild. though the species remains critically endangered. Neither side of this argument wins cleanly. Ranchers have legitimate concerns. Prairie dogs do consume some forage, though research consistently shows less than 7% of available grass, far below early government estimates. Colonies also carry sylvatic plague, which can devastate both wildlife and livestock. Conservation biologists counter that the ecological services, water infiltration, soil fertility, and biodiversity have measurable economic value exceeding the cost of lost forage. A small but growing number of ranchers in Montana and South Dakota have stopped poisoning and started managing around the colonies instead. The restoration effort continues. The debate continues around it. What is no longer debatable is the ecological function itself. Remove prairie dogs and the plains become biologically simplified, hydrologically impaired, and measurably less productive. A century of poisoning did not solve a pest problem. It created an ecological one that 170 species are still paying for.
What do you think? Should America stop poisoning prairie dogs and let them reclaim the plains, or does the conflict with ranching make that impossible? Leave your answer in the comments. Subscribe so you do not miss the next one.